Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about recent Criterion Collection edition, Blu-ray edition of a 1950 Western called Th Furies. This is a movie that stars Walter Huston, Barbara Stanwyck, directed by Anthony Mann. It's one of the wildest Westerns. I think it's probably the wildest Western that Anthony Mann ever directed. Befitting the title, it resembles a Greek tragedy. It has a Shakespearean revenge plot. It has its King Lear and Walter Huston, a King Lear type figure. He has a daughter played by Barbara Stanwyck who has been motherless most of her life. She has a very strange, incest-hinted relationship with her father. They're more like husband and wife in the way they banter, bicker, argue, fight, make up. It has another main character is played by Wendell Corey, and this is a man who is involved on revenge against the Walter Huston character, and he courts Barbara Stanwyck. Of course, Barbara Stanwyck's father wants nothing to do with it, and all sorts of intrigues are going on. And Judith Anderson, in one of her best roles, it's about up there with her Mrs. Danvers and Rebecca. She comes to court and gets between Barbara Stanwyck and Walter Huston. More revenge plots go on, and this is a very deeply felt. It's a hybrid Western film noir. There's a little bit of screwball comedy, melodrama. But it's a deeply felt story, and Anthony Mann, we learned in some of the great extras on this edition, we learned Anthony Mann up until the age of 13 had lived at a experimental commune type place called the Theosophical Institute in California. They're separated from their parents. The children were separated from their parents. It plays a lot into the lost parents in many of Anthony Mann's Westerns, but as part of that upbringing, they had a large amphitheater where they did perform nothing but Greek tragedies and Shakespearean tragedies, and so Anthony Mann was certainly steeped in that literature. And of course, this is Mann came out of film noir. He made 3 Westerns in 1950, also including Winchester 73, the first film he made with Jimmy Stewart. And of course, in this middle period of Anthony Mann's career, he's renowned and most remembered for these Jimmy Stewart Westerns, and their relationship had gone back. As an interesting story, little tidbit, that Anthony Mann was a stage manager on Broadway, started at a summer theater on Long Island, and Jimmy Stewart was the star. This is before both Mann and Stewart went to Hollywood, so they had a relationship going way back. The novel upon which this film is based was written by Nevin Bush, who also wrote Duel in the Sun, and also a very overheated kind of melodramatic Western. And in this Criterion edition, we actually get a fairly large-sized copy of that novel, Th Furies. There's quite a bit of extras as well. We have a little booklet, and the booklet, it contains a essay by Robin Wood, one of the greatest film critics of my lifetime. From his Hitchcock's films and many of his other works, he helped me appreciate film, and it's a great essay, and it also includes an interview with Mann. Mann was very, very, he was very articulate in understanding his movies. The Furies was not a success, commercially success. I think it's very much an artistic success, but not a commercial success. And Mann blamed that on the fact that what he was good at was having a protagonist with a goal. And this protagonist would be flawed. He would be both hero and anti-hero. But what the audience would get interested in, the audience didn't care whether he was, about his flaws. What they were interested watching him attain the goal that he has set out for himself, a purpose. And he thought that he failed in this movie. It really, The Furies is at cross purposes to all of that. Jim Kitz's, another great Western scholar. He wrote Horizons West, another book that I read early on in my life. That's his history of Westerns that was updated. He gives a tremendous commentary on the Furies. And then there's an interview with Mann in London, where he was filming in Dandy and Aspic. And this is right before he died, because he died during the filming of Dandy and Aspic. And Lawrence Harvey, the lead actor in that movie, had to finish the movie. And then all of this was on the 2008. All these extras were on the 2008 edition, and Criterion has the only edition, I think, is a essay or an interview with Imogen Sarah Smith. I got her name right, which is always helpful, and she gives a great overview of how Anthony Mann's film noir career influences his westerns. Overall, I think it's really an outstanding. Mann was well known for his use of terrain, and how he would be able to integrate terrain into the psychological conflicts of his characters. And in this film, in The Furies, there is a mountain, and mountains are some of the most formidable goals. Have you ever seen The Naked Spur? Jimmy Stewart climbing up the cliff in the Naked Spur. And here we have the Herrera family living on they're Mexican squatters. They actually were on this land before T.C. Jeffries, the Walter Huston character, came along. They live on this mountaintop, and at the end of the film, Walter Huston is adamant upon evicting them and dynamiting the mountain. So it's overall, and also I have to say, this is one of Barbara Stanwyck's most memorable roles. I mean, she is just absolutely astonishing in this film. She has to play all kinds of emotions. As always, she's so natural in what she does, and she looks like she's having a lot of fun, especially in her scenes with Walter Huston, and to a certain extent with Wendell Corey as well. So overall, this is a movie that I've always loved. It's an atypical Anthony Mann movie, but I think it is really been kind of overlooked by the Jimmy Stewart films. But overall, I would definitely recommend checking out Anthony Mann's The Furies, for Barbara Stanwyck, for some great Western cinematography, for all the classical illusions that it has. So thanks a lot for everybody who stuck with me to the end of this video, and I hope you guys take care, and I will catch you next time.